and welcome to another episode of the Live Today show right here on CAN TV Channel 21. I'm Dr. Sheri, and I am your host for the show, and I am the founder of the Live Today Foundation, where our mission is to provide inspiration, joy, and free compression garments to under-resourced cancer survivors and cancer patients living with lymphedema. We are so grateful that you are joining us for our show this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are tuning in. It is so weird. I'm still not used to coming to you via Zoom and not actually live in the studio. I cannot wait until we're able to return live to the studio and I can actually have one of my three producers actually help me with the show. But we have way too much information to share with you to allow a month to go by without us posting something to help our constituents learn how to live today and every day. Now, listen, guys, I want to share my screen with you because I have some information to share, and I want you to know that if you are looking to find out more information about the Live Today organization, you can go out to our website at www.live-today.org. That is live-today.org. You can also shoot us an email. If there's a topic you want to hear about, if you have any other questions regarding the premise of our organization, what we do, and how we can be of a blessing to you, please feel free to shoot us an email at info@live-today.org, or you can always pick up the phone and call us at 754-220-0234. And for those of you who are on social media, please, we would love for you to follow us, make comments, give us some kudos, let us know that we're on the right track. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at livetoday.org. That is livetoday, DOTORG. And you can find us at YouTube at the Live Today Foundation. Now, I want you guys to really appreciate that we have your best interest in mind, especially for those individuals who are living with lymphedema. And so today I wanted to continue the conversation on lymphedema and specifically on how we and you as a cancer survivor and as a cancer patient can prevent lymphedema from becoming a chronic, debilitating, lifelong disease. So I want to share the screen again because I want to take us back to our website. And then I want to be able to show you guys some of the latest things that we're doing and switching around here. And actually, I think I want to come back. I don't want to share just yet because I want to make sure that you guys have everything that you need. Now, one of the things that I want to be clear, there are some individuals who are they're concerned or maybe don't necessarily understand or appreciate the importance, if you will, of getting the COVID vaccination while they are living with lymphedema. I want to share with you, I'm going to have a whole separate show regarding the COVID vaccine and its importance for individuals who are living with cancer and or are living with lymphedema. But I wanted to share with you that I have received both doses, the second of which was just yesterday, and I'm doing very well. I actually pre-medicated myself about maybe about 6 hours after my second dose yesterday with a dose of naproxen. And I can say I woke up this morning, I have a slightly sore arm, but I have not experienced any of the fevers, no chills, no muscle aches. And I received the Pfizer vaccine. So it may be different for everyone, but for those individuals who value my opinion as a physician and as a patient and as a breast cancer survivor, and as an individual who's been practicing medicine for over 25 years, if you value my opinion. I live by example. So I wouldn't tell you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself or haven't done myself. So I got my vaccine. So for what it's worth, I hope you will consider getting your vaccination. And that's all I'm going to say on the subject right now, but just keep that in the back of your mind. What I would like to share with you, though, is take you back to the Live Today website. Now, here on our website, what I want you to pay attention to is the Lymphedema Prevention Program. The reason why I'm taking you here is because back when I was first diagnosed with breast cancer, and after I went through my treatment, and even after I began to my right extremity just didn't feel right. My fingers didn't feel right. Technology wasn't available to help me figure out where I was as far as lymphedema. Was I in stages 0 and 1 because it develops in stages? Is this lymphedema at all? I had no guidance. I knew that it was a risk factor, but I did not have any guidance as to what could possibly be done to prevent it from getting worse. Now that the Live Today Foundation has caught wind of this fantastic new technology that is available to help cancer patients not have to live with chronic debilitating lymphedema, I had to share it with you. And so if you go out to our website, under the tab Lymphedema Prevention Program, you will see here where we talk about understanding cancer-related lymphedema of the arms and legs, because even though I'm a breast cancer survivor, and initially when I got started, my mindset went to breast cancer survivors. The Live Today Foundation thankfully has grown by leaps and bounds, and we no longer just focus on breast cancer patients and survivors. It's cancer patient and survivors. So it may involve your upper and or your lower extremities. And we are doing everything we can to meet your needs and get you the help that you so desperately need. But here with the Lymphedema Prevention Program, you may not need our help at all, which is my desire and my goal. So here, I have talked to you guys in the past about what the symptoms of lymphedema are, and you can read them further here. But what I really want to get into tonight was to reiterate those 4 stages of lymphedema: stages 0, 1, 2. I'm sorry, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now, 0 and 1, these are your reversible stages. By the time you get to stages 2 and stage 3, they are irreversible. And usually by the time you can detect and see swelling for yourself, you are at minimum stage 2, and it is irreversible. So what I want to talk to you tonight about is about stages 0 and 1. Stages 0 and 1, you may not feel anything. You may not see anything, but fluid is building up. So you may ask, well, Dr. Prentice, how am I supposed to know if lymphedema is developing? How can I prevent something that I can't see and or feel? Well, here's the kicker. This is why I'm so excited. With the Lymphedema Prevention Program, 3 simple steps to follow. The 3 T's, I like to call them: test, trigger, and treat. Now, here's what's cool. So you testing on a device, it's called a SOZO device. Don't worry about the technical terms. That really doesn't matter. But the device is used to measure something called your LDEX score. It is a score that helps your clinicians be able to determine what the fluid levels in your body is doing. What are they doing? And where is that fluid shifting to? And when do we need to be concerned that it's too much fluid? Fluid is not in the right place. Fluid is not going away. That's the best way in layman's terms for me to put it. But just know that with lymphedema, there is this buildup of lymphatic fluid. And in the initial stages, in stages 0 and 1, You may not see it and you may not feel it, but there is a device. It looks like a scale that you stand on. This is it right here. It looks like a little scale that you stand on. And there's a place at the top where you put your hands and a place at the bottom that you can see here where you place your feet. You stand on it, you don't feel anything. It's not painful. It takes a quick 30 seconds. With just doing that, now this LDEX score helps your physician or your healthcare provider know if you are getting lymphedema before you feel any signs or symptoms. And it is measured using this SOZO device, and a normal LDEX score is between -10 and +10. And so your LDEX score is best if it's measured before your cancer treatment begins. So for us, it's before maybe you've had surgery. Like for me, it would have been before my partial mastectomy. Some individuals, depending upon the size of the mass, sometimes they're getting chemotherapy before they have surgery. So before whatever treatment is done, before your treatment begins, it would be wonderful to have a baseline score for you. What is your normal LDEX score? And so now once they have your normal, then you step on this little scale, right? And you go and you test at your follow-up visits using this device. Second T, trigger. So if your LDEX score increases above your normal levels, your physician or other healthcare provider will evaluate you for the early signs of lymphedema. And so once they evaluate you, so it's not just that's the beauty about it, is not just treating a value that is seen on a scale. So it is that value that is detected plus an examination. Someone needs to touch you. Someone needs to get a history from you. And so now when you combine those two based upon your history, based upon your score, now if your score increases to a point where it's raising a red flag that we got subclinical lymphedema here, could be stage 0, stage 1, but it's not stage 2 yet. Here is where we can step in and treat. Now your physician or healthcare provider will prescribe the treatment that best fits your condition. Typically, when it's caught early, you can be placed in a compression garment for 4 weeks, wearing it 12 hours a day, and voila. Over 80% of individuals having gone this route in a recent study demonstrated that they were able to detect it. And now 81% of individuals going through this form of detection rate now have the opportunity of not having to live with chronic debilitating lymphedema like myself for the rest of their lives. And so if you are a cancer patient and or survivor, whether or not you have, I'm going to stop sharing now so you can see my face when I say this, whether or not you have had this testing done before or not. You may say, Dr. Sheri, I've just been diagnosed. Dr. Sheri, I've just been diagnosed and I've already had surgery or I've already started chemo. Doesn't matter. Ask your treating physician, whether or not it's your breast surgeon, whether or not it's your medical oncologist, whether or not it's your radiation oncologist, or whether or not for some reason you're already seeing a physical therapist. Maybe your oncologist or your breast surgeon said, you know what, I want to put you in contact with a therapist early on, just in case, because lymphedema is a real risk, just in case you start having some symptoms, you will have that interaction with him or her. And now you would have already established a relationship and now you can go into treatment. I want you to ask, if you are a cancer patient and or survivor, I need you for your sake. If you've been blessed not to see any signs or symptoms of lymphedema, ask your physician, is there a lymphedema prevention program here? Do you do LDEX score or use a SOZO device for monitoring of subclinical lymphedema? Ask them that question, because it may be yes and they thought someone else told you about it. And that can happen. You have so many individuals that are caring for you, that are meeting your needs, that one may think that the other one told you about something, but I need you to advocate for you. And so ask the question and get the help that you need. And so I will state again, if you are a cancer patient and or a cancer survivor, ask your physician, do you have a lymphedema prevention program here at this institution? They may say, well, no. Then ask, do you have a SOZO device? Are you familiar with it? Because the answer may be yes. They just didn't liken that into an official program. Or ask them, are you familiar with an LDEX score? I'd like to know what mine is. Those are 3 easy questions to ask that could potentially get you into a program that could allow you to avoid potential pitfalls like me and lose out on a career you've wanted your entire life, or be stuck with the financial burden of buying compression garments year after year, or buying a new wardrobe because your clothes don't fit because one limb is bigger than the other. This technology is there, and had it been available for me when I was going through, I could still be practicing right now. And so, although there are no regrets, and I'm grateful, because had things gone differently, I would have never created the Live Today Foundation. And so I'm not an individual who continuously looks back, regretting choices, decisions, or things that happened to me. I'm an individual that takes stock in what I still have rather than what I've lost, in order to create a new vision and a new dream for my life. And I've been able to do that. But everyone is not able to do that. Everyone's not surrounded by the powerhouse of individuals that I have behind me that, told me, you can make it, you can go ahead. And so for those individuals, you need every resource you possibly can get to hold on to what you have. And a lymphedema prevention program, if you are a cancer patient and or survivor, could be just the tool that you need to keep going in the way that you want to move in your life. And so I want to tell you guys again, be mindful, and be set to do and be an advocate for you. Nobody can advocate for you better than you can, right? And so I want you to appreciate that you are your best advocate. Be your own advocate. Okay. And so now I want to take you back, because I want to share with you again, for those of you that may be interested in how you can support the Live Today Foundation. You can follow us at on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at livetoday.org. You can also find us on YouTube at Live Today Foundation. And for those of you that want to go back to my website, check out the Lymphedema Prevention Program. You can go out to www.live-today.org. You can shoot us an email at info@live-today.org, or you can give us a call at 754-220-0234. Now, I want to take you guys back. I think I want to go back to the website. And so let me see if I can. That's the one thing about, I'm telling you, when you're doing it on your own and you're doing it with the Zoom. But I do want to go back. I do want to go back to the website. So let me see if I can get us back to the website here. Here we go. Yes. What I also want you to point out, and what I also want to point out to you rather, is on the website, not only do I want you to take note of the Lymphedema Prevention Program page, but I'm so excited about this. And this is going to be another whole entire show, because as you can see, look at all of these pages we have for you. There is a new patient education resource page. So we have tons of information for you here on the site. But as you can see here, we break down the lymphatic system, what causes lymphedema, the signs and symptoms of lymphedema, the various stages of lymphedema, how it's diagnosed, lymphedema prevention and how you can reduce your risk, lymphedema treatment, and then finally lymphedema management. So we are doing lots on our website to try to get you the information that you, again, like I stated, so desperately need. And when I say desperately, I don't mean that in a negative way to imply that everyone out there that is living with lymphedema is a desperate individual. I probably have a tendency to go to that word because I felt desperate when I was first diagnosed, because it stripped my lifelong dream from me in an instant. And so I have a tendency to go towards that word, but everybody may not be so as heavily impacted as I was. But I can tell you this, imagine if you were a person who, you are a stylist. You have taken all types of additional courses and certifications in doing hair like nobody can imagine. You are gifted in braids and weave and cuts and color and all of that. You've been renting out places, little booths. You finally get yourself together. You got the money together. You start your own thing. Boom, your space, your thing. You get diagnosed with breast cancer. You make it through the treatment. You come back, your business is still booming. 6 months later, a year later, lymphedema sets in. It sets in your right hand, arm, fingers, and you're right-handed. And then all of a sudden, everything that you've worked for, I mean, you have clients willing to wait hours just for you to do their hair, lined up. You are booked out. And now, all of a sudden, you can't do what you've worked so hard, spent so much money, put all of the marketing and advertising and all of that into this business. And now not only can you not do what you so enjoy doing, what was your livelihood, what took care of your family, you now, in addition to not bringing in more money to meet your needs, you now have more money going out because you have to buy compression garments, at least 2 a year. You have to buy new clothes because your old clothes don't fit. You have to, you probably need to maybe go into some form of counseling to kind of deal with everything that has happened to you over a short period of time. But now you're figuring out, how can I even fit that in? I don't even know. I can't even afford health insurance now because I don't have a livelihood. I mean, there is such a snowball effect that can happen when you get diagnosed with lymphedema. And I'm just at a place in my life and in my career that I want to admonish as many patients as I can to advocate for themselves. And I want to encourage as many physicians as I possibly can to be an advocate for their patient, to think about the whole patient, to think about their survivorship beyond their point of care of that patient. So for the breast surgeon, think beyond the mastectomy and your follow-up. You've cut the cancer out. You may consider, okay, great, I saved a life, I'm done. The medical oncologists have given the chemotherapy. They've survived the chemotherapy. The hair is growing back. I'm done. The radiation oncologist, okay, they've survived the skin burns, maybe the nipple burns. They made it through their 33 treatments or what have you. I'm done. Please have the conversation with your patients. Be mindful of the fact that 1 in 3 at-risk cancer patients will develop lymphedema as a result of their cancer treatment. Be mindful of that and have these conversations with your patients and give them an opportunity to live out a wonderful survivorship, not hindered by finances, not hindered by a loss of career, not hindered by depression over how much their life has changed and differed. Be the physician that cares beyond where your level of care may end, but where their life, their new life begins. And so I hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode of the Live Today show. Again, I'm Dr. Sheri, your host of the Live Today show and the founder of the Live Today Foundation. We had scheduled where we were going to highlight one of our recipients of free garments, but she was not able to make it on this evening. So I promise you, hopefully in the next show or two, we will get this lovely individual highlighted so that you can hear personal stories. I don't share as many personal stories maybe as I should, because I feel like there's so much other information. I don't want to be viewed as, yeah, so she's blessing a lot of people and all we get to see is hear their testimonies. I want to give you content that you can actually use and that would change your life. But I do think that it's important when you hear from individuals that have been blessed by our efforts. So I want you guys to tune in next time when I'm going to highlight yet another Live Today recipient. And it may be the one that I had scheduled for tonight. If not, it will be another one. And we're going to continue our quest of learning how to live, how to love, voice, inspire, and enjoy. I'm Dr. Sheri. And remember, be present, take charge of your life, and live today